Master Obi-Wan Kenobi. I regret to report that both our Jedi Order and the Republic have fallen, with the dark shadow of the Empire rising to take their place. This message is a warning and a reminder for any surviving Jedi. Trust in the Force.
They've outgrown their age of rebellion, dulled the Empire's edge, defeated Imperial generals and the Pirate Queen's dredge. They've been soldiers and scoundrels, what's there left to be? How about lost acolytes looking for their force and destiny? There's a seer, hermit, investigator, and teacher. Better watch your back or a vibe or ring's gonna reach you. Will this team find the light or will darkness win the day? Find out with the heroes of the Hydian way.
Previously on Heroes of the Hydian Way, Skip, Hillary, Koba, and Kesh had dived into the search for the missing parts of Sulja Ward's holocron, a repository of his wisdom and experience. Their last stop in the search was the undercity of Jora on Cato Nemoidia. Not only did they find another crystal, but they learned about Ward's odd behavior shortly before he vanished. Perhaps even more concerning, they were found by an Imperial Inquisitor also on the trail of the crystals. After escaping an encounter with him, the four were whisked away by the Force to an aging Jedi facility. But why? And for how long? Learn more this week as they continue their sabbatical.
Welcome to Heroes of the Hydian Way. This is a Star Wars actual play podcast where we're playing in Fantasy Flight Games' Force and Destiny system. The adventure is inspired by Chronicles of the Gatekeeper, as developed by Tim Cox and Max Brook. This is Act 3, Episode 2, and I'm Ben, the GM for this adventure.
I'm Kesh, and today we're going to find out what happens when a Trandoshan mystic seer is struck by lightning.
Well, I bet you all probably thought it was going to be the Galarian Secret Hermit that got struck by lightning. It wasn't. I actually managed to make that roll. Yay! I'm Skip. That's good.
Good job, Skip.
And I'm Hillary, and I am currently a floor away from my friends and wondering what is going on with the lightning. Skip, I sent you to keep an eye on her.
I can't hear you. It's fine.
To learn more about our heroes, we get one to ask another a question, and it is now Kesh's turn.
Hey, Skip.
Mm-hmm.
What's the spookiest thing you've ever seen?
Oh, wow. Well, let's see. Ren's brain is broken. Alright, well, there was a time. Not that long ago, really. It was when we were still on the bus and we didn't know each other all that well.
Mm-hmm.
Gosh, how long ago was that?
Forever.
Like 2 weeks.
Forever.
It feels like a year and a half.
That's all, folks.
Trust me, it's like 2 weeks. If it were a year and a half, I'd feel it a lot more.
Anyway, you asked what the creepiest thing,
Yes.
spookiest thing, or whatever was that I'd ever seen. And so I didn't know any of you all yet. And, I have a pretty good outlook on life, I think, usually.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yes.
things are a little complicated right now. But I don't know. I also don't know if we should be having this conversation right now while you're sort of in the water and it's fine. Anyway, so, all right. So I didn't know any of you all that well. But, Koba was kind of going around, but I didn't know he was Koba then. I was just like, that's that weird Doug guy that's going around, like, snooping on everyone and taking notes. Anyway, there was a point where, what were their names? The Scoob guy. Scoob guy tripped over something, and I don't know if anybody else saw it, but Koba kind of smirked a little bit. There was a little, like, almost smile. And I think that might have been the creepiest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, I get shivers just thinking about that.
Koba? I don't think their mouths are designed to smile.
Yeah, Koba deriving enjoyment from something? Doesn't sound right. So, our destiny pool for this session now consists of 4 light side points and 2 dark side points. Ben has been spending them.
Yeah, ha 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 ha. We start with the camera looking out over Skip's shoulder as Skip is standing on the landing, looking out over a generator room. Mostly it's Duracrete, a lot of cabling. There's even a bunch of cabling and machinery hanging off of the ceiling, including at one point it was a hibernating Minoc. Now it's less hibernating, more flapping, wondering what is going on. And we see and hear, and Skip feels this, just the crack of electricity going from where the Minoc was down into the water. And now it's just lightning arcs zapping around over the plane of the water. And as that happens, one of the first places where the arc comes down, it looks like it comes down right onto Kesh's force pike and zaps her.
Hmm.
Looking it up, I'm just going to go with it being a flat 10 damage.
Okay. I don't know that it matters, but do I get my soak or not?
I would go with yes.
Okay. So, Ben, will you please roll a crit?
You don't have any lingering ones?
I don't. We actually healed all of those, so it's just a straight crit roll. I actually somehow didn't get... Well, I mean, that's fair. I was already on my way to the ground, so... So Ben rolled Bull over, which knocks me prone, but I'm already going unconscious. So, yeah, I'll just take the strain off of that as the electricity courses through Kesh. And I imagine it's one of those things where she continues standing there as long as the electricity is going.
Mm-hmm.
And then as soon as it's done, she falls face first, disappearing underneath the water, Skip. Because remember, it was waist high there, and she's unconscious.
Oh no!
So act accordingly.
Skip is going to call out, and there's probably one of those scenes where they're up on that railing thing now and reaching out, calling out, "Oh no, Cash!" Except it's squeakier and Skip is the water still actively fizzing from electricity?
It's not fizzing. The electrical arc is coming down, and it's going seemingly random where it's hitting. You see several times where it's hitting the metal shrouds over the generators themselves. It's hitting some equipment, which will then spark and just almost explode.
So I could always get hit again.
There is that.
I'm looking at my force tree to see if there's anything with alter I can do for this situation. I don't know if I can control water.
Yeah, it's a different bending style.
Yeah. So if it is indeed packed dirt underneath this water, what I'm hoping that I can do is reach out and sort of pull Earth up into sort of a bowl shape around Kesh to keep the water from getting in, since the water is electrified.
All right.
And I mean, I've got all the stuff in altar, so I feel like I can... I've made a wall out of it before, so I feel like I could pull dirt up.
Pull dirt up, absolutely. There's also likely to be seaweed of some variety in here, or considering the depth that you're at, it's more likely to be an actual animal, but...
Lovely.
You bring Kesh up, and there's a whole bunch of fish in there that start flopping around.
Oh, no. Yeah, so I just definitely want to separate water from the arcs of electricity using the earth. I suppose I'm just gonna roll my force rating for this. All right, I roll 2 light and 3 dark. Yes. I also...
We'd need to extend the range on account of where you jumped from was medium. You had to jump to medium, so
Yep,
Cash would be at medium.
I have, so it'll cost me 2 of those light side points. Yes, I've got the range band thing. Yes.
You'd have to dip into the dark because you've got 1 to do it, and then
that's totally fine
2
with
for
me.
range.
I'll dip into the dark. What I was going to say...
Oh yeah, because I see the range upgrade is 2 pips for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of brutal.
I was focused on, I have duration, so I'm going to commit one of my force points after having successfully activated this power to sustain its effects while the user remains within range of the affected area. So I'm gonna hop down to it so that I can keep it held up, and that Cash is not being electrocuted by the water anymore.
Or drowning.
So that too.
Well, I'd figured that you'd stay within range, so you wouldn't really have to move, because the water goes pretty much to the base of the steps that are right next to you. So, like, this is very much a floor is lava kind of situation. Floor is water. You're within range. Like, you'll be able to do what you're wanting. You just don't have to move.
Okay, great. So flip the destiny point.
Because you have to use one of the dark side points.
Oh, and it causes... Oh, that's how that works.
So yeah, so it's a flipping destiny point.
I don't often...
And then you'll take a strain and a conflict for each dark side pip you spend. See, I'm very familiar with this process at this point with my 32 morality.
Yes, so taking a strain, taking a conflict, and then holding this thing up, with their mind powers. Skip's going to just watch and see if Cash wakes up, even though Ren knows Cash has not got up from that.
Yeah, she's not moving. I think we probably see some of the water still sort of like steaming off of the metal armor, her metal arm, and then I imagine the dirt cup also picked up the stuff that was around her, like her lightsaber pike.
Yeah.
So everything is a sort of gently steaming at the moment, and she's not moving.
This is not good. Why am I gonna be the only person awake? Alright, Oh, and Cash just said that a stim pack's not gonna do any good right now. Oh, dear. Okay, well, I saw Hillary do healing stuff once. I can probably try. I've got... And starts whipping, like, things out of their pouches until they find, like, some more, like, grubby bandages and things. And, now I'd like to hop over to where Cash is, to try to, I don't know, perform space CPR. This is gonna go poorly.
Alright, so I'll need to get an enhanced check off of you to jump over. Because floor is lava.
Alright, I committed my thing, so I can only roll 2 whites.
Yep.
Why did I do that? I got 2 dark side points. I'm still gonna take them. That's
Okay.
fine. That's fine. Gonna spend them.
Alright, time to flip another point.
Yep. Love this for me.
Just keep on gaining conflict. You don't want to be at the highest morality rating anyway.
Do I have to flip both?
No, just one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
one.
it's always only one destiny point no matter what, and then you can spend as many dark side pips as you want. You just take a conflict and a strain per each.
Yep, writing that down. Now I'm up to 2 conflict already. Who would have guessed that the first conflict would have been mine?
3, because you took one on the last one.
Yeah, because you need to spend both of these.
That's right. Yep.
You're good.
Strange.
It's new.
Okay, so Skip has hopped over to Cash. I have my one of my die is committed so that this bowl thing stays the way it is, and is going to rush over to Cash, flip her over onto her side, and kind of like slap at her back a little bit. Like, assuming there's probably some water in the lungs. Do Trandoshans have lungs? I don't know if Trandoshans have lungs. They might have something else going on in there. I don't know, but there's probably water. Okay. Well, that didn't do anything. All right. What does Hillary do? And then try. I try to roll a medicine check. Is it possible even?
Yep.
Yeah. I think because I might be out of stim packs, and heal wouldn't do anything for me. But I think just a medicine check would.
A medicine check will work. On the other hand, a medicine check is going to.
I am out, so it'd be 3 purple.
And there's no med kit.
That's the other trick.
Sure isn't.
Which is what setbacks then?
Setbacks or upgrade?
So that's...
I think it's increases.
Ooh.
Okay, so it's red, purple then?
It would be actually 4 purple.
He's about to increase adds a die.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Can
so
we
red,
argue
purple,
for a boost
purple.
because Hillary has routinely used Skip's assistant, so Skip's got some very basic extra training?
Yeah, I can go with that.
So here's the good news, though. If memory serves, we have a house rule, so you can't go more than 1 wound over your threshold.
Yeah, for this campaign.
Yep. So you just need 1 success, and Cash will be conscious.
So I'm rolling a red and 4 purple.
You're rolling 4 purple, I think, right?
Yeah, just 4 purple, no red.
Okay, this is possible. I'm rolling two greens, a boost, and 4 purple.
Nope.
Oh, golly. All right. The world is not kind to Skip. I have got a failure and 2 threat. Oh my gosh.
All things considered, I'm thinking that just being 2 strain would be very fitting.
Yeah.
2 strain on me, yeah.
Yeah, 2 straining Skip.
That's fine.
I also think probably based on that roll and your kind of anxiety over the situation, you really can't tell if Kesh is breathing or not.
All right, Kesh is not waking up. All right. Well, let's bring you back to the medical robots. This is fine. And I am going to hoist Cash onto my shoulder and try to get back, which I think means I need to hop, but with Cash.
She is she's heavy to begin with, and she's wearing metal armor.
Oh no! Oh,
with a metal arm. So
that would then get me to think that it should probably be like an athletics check and then the jump.
That's fair.
Okay.
So says me, who's not making the roll.
I mean, yeah.
Okay.
I'm not even in the room at the time, but I think it sounds fair.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is...
Should be a red, purple, and a setback. And then the hop.
Okay.
So, yeah. Red, purple, and setback for athletics or brawn.
I would prefer athletics. So that's what I'm going to do.
No, absolutely.
Now, I have some potentially good news for you.
Yes?
So I'm trying to double check here. But your enhance, don't you have it for athletics?
Yes. First off, I'm going to say I have conditioned so I can remove setbacks from athletics and coordination checks. So got rid of my setback.
Sweet.
I have way too much on my sheet going on here. Okay. And then
You've got a lot of experience.
I have athletics and I've got that, which, oh gosh.
Yeah, and you'll get to add your force dice then.
So I'll roll that all at the same time. So I'm rolling a red and a purple. Oh, green. Okay, I'm rolling. I have a success and a threat to dark side, but I don't need it. So
no, you do not.
Hooray! Okay.
You have succeeded.
Just for the sheer power of Skip's gumption and probably some adrenaline, definitely some adrenaline, is able to hoist Kesh up, and then try to make a leap. So now I gotta roll again.
And now it's what? Now it's just the force?
No, it's just the force.
Just
It's
the
too
force.
dark.
Jeez.
It's too dark side, and I am absolutely spending it.
Okay.
So I've now spent 4 dark.
Yeah, so that'll be 2 more strain and 2 more conflict and a destiny
Yep.
point.
Yep. All right. Now that I've succeeded in this chaos, try to get Kesh back to the medical droid. Who would have thought that, haunted, Jedi place would just turn into Skip's terrible, no good, very bad day.
Skip is able to drag Kesh to the stairwell, up the stairwell, though that's very bumpy for Kesh going up the stairwell.
Hopefully you're not being dragged by the feet.
I have no say in the matter right now.
All the while leaving a long, slowly drying drag marks of 2 wet feet. Going pretty much all the way to the stairwell and then up the stairwell. It just takes time to get to the infirmary, but you are able to make it there.
Do you want me to take more strain for the effort of doing this?
Well, including the last threat, which I forgot about, it should be 3 more strain.
Who? Cool.
Are you out?
You still up?
Yup.
Okay.
So, here's what happens. Skip is panting and just pulling on Kesh and gets through the door. Hey, Hillary, I have really good news.
Yes?
You were right, I definitely needed to follow Kesh. And
Oh, good
flops
gracious.
Kesh in front of the
Oh my
Medic-
goodness.
medical droid.
Sit, Skip,
And
sit.
then-
You.
Falls to
something.
the floor themselves
Go.
and is just like barely conscious.
Hillary's like slapping at the medical bot to get it to go to Kesh. It's like, I'm fine. Go.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but not being able to benefit from a stim pack or the heal power, and there already having been a failed medicine check, I'm done for right now, right? Until like a day's passed?
I believe until the next day. I don't think it's a full day.
Okay.
I think at this juncture, because I am now 1 point away from being strained out, what is stopping all of us from just passing out?
Well,
Not much.
Hillary actually isn't all that wounded.
Oh, okay.
But otherwise,
Hillary is, once L2 has gotten Kesh settled, Hillary is going to kind of crawl under Skip's arm and heave as much as he can. It's like, come on, we're just going right here. Just gotta get up. That's right. One hand on the bed, and just push. And I've got you on this side.
I'm really
Huh?
tired.
I know you're really tired, so just once we get to us, and fall forward.
Okay, it's not a hammock for this.
It's not a hammock, no, but it's soft and it's accessible for the medical. So he's kind of heaving your legs up on the bed and getting you straight. He kind of pats your hand. You did good, Skip. You did very good. Thank you for bringing our wayward Trandoshan back to bed, where she should have been in the first place, because I'm probably the healthiest out of everyone right now. Oddly enough.
Just so you know, this might not be real.
This might not be real.
I'm
No.
gonna fall asleep.
Elena is correct.
Asleep.
Huh? And the Alina is alone. Well, thank you for your assistance, L2-6. I guess I'll wait here for them.
Poor
And he climbs up back into his bed, and then he's like, no, can't do this right now. Gets back out of his bed, walks over to Skip, who is not currently being tended to by L2, and throws his jacket over Skip's torso,
Oh, it
And there's a
like,
big
barely
old hole.
covers me.
where he got shot. But it's something. So then Hillary goes back, and every time he gets in and out of the bed, it's a scramble because it's silhouette one beds.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And so he just goes back to the bed where he was sitting, watching Koba, and leans against the wall, crosses his legs, and kind of taps his knees and hums to himself as the evening wears on. Okay. Well, we're all here, gang. It's good to see us together. I guess.
Just so that I'm clear, Skip is on one of the chairs that is usually in one of these places. And
A bench, a chair, something.
Yeah. Because I'm figuring Kesh would have taken up the third bed.
I figure we put Skip on whatever was closest to the door, which would likely be a bench or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. As Kesh is maneuvered onto the medical bed, I'm figuring that L2 actually has a personnel scoop. Like, kind of like those terrifying droids in Revenge of the Sith.
I'm just picturing like a it's like a little like bulldozer.
Yeah, I'm thinking kind of like half bulldozer, half front loader, where it comes out, forms into more of a scoop, and then loads Kesh onto the medical bed so that it's up where all of the implements are, and then retracts out from underneath. And then after a little bit, as L2 is taking the big scanner over Kesh, scanning over the different joints and all the fun places that electrical discharges go for. So, like, scanning over center of mass on account of, like, that's the closest place to the spine. All these different fun joints that just contract and are so bad.
Yeah.
Kesh is still breathing, but, like, just completely, utterly out of it. I'm figuring that as Hillary is watching, maybe helping a bit, while Hillary is there watching L2, CMT will come by and look in. Oh no, it looks like your companions have had an incident down in the generator facility. I am getting very different readings from there. I will wait until L2 is finished with your companions before imposing upon them any further.
Imposing upon them how?
The generators do seem to be turning, but it seems that there is a issue in the room causing the power not to make it into the main circuits.
Could you show me this?
Oh, yes. Yes, I can. They look to be moving a bit faster than the shuffling that they had initially been. They're now moving at the same speed that Hillary can walk at. Chances are earlier that they were shuffling on account of to actually draw attention as opposed to sneaking up on people.
Gotcha. Good plan.
Now CMT is actually walking. And the little mouse droid with the 4 bulbous repulsors on it is coming along. You make it down there, and standing a bit away from the door as it goes out, under the nearest flickering fluorescent light that is there, but not stepping through that door into the generator room, CMT turns to Hillary. The generator room has become very dangerous due to the arcing that you can see. And another arc comes down into the water. Now, I may not know that much about how the electrical is supposed to work. YLE down here knows a lot more about it than I do, but they don't have a vocoder. Conversing with my companion here, it sounds as if the pumps have been clogged or are not active. And if we were able to get rid of the water that is here, there's a better chance that the electrical discharges will dissipate or at least be contained.
I see. And where are these pumps? I assume they're currently under the water.
The main pumps are, yes, but on account of the design of this place, there is an auxiliary that it was the initial pump that was then turned into the auxiliary pump. It is through this access. The pump itself resides in the ceiling of the room, near the substation.
So what I'm doing is I would be activating the actual machine that controls the pump, not the pump itself. And I have to go through the wall to get there, is what I'm assuming you're saying.
Yes, that is correct.
Gotcha. Well, fortunately, he straightens his waistcoat, which is also looking pretty underwhelming right now. I am quite adept at fitting in small places.
Oh, that is going to be very handy. That is very good to hear.
That does seem to be my lot in life. Yes, well, this is a terrible idea, but we're going to do it. Right, little one?
And it gives a little tweedle.
Okay, let's go. Where is the hatch I'm looking at?
I'm figuring it's one of those contained ladders that then goes up onto a crawlway along the ceiling. Not quite an air duct, but like the engineering equivalent thereof.
Kind of a catwalk type thing.
Yeah.
Small suspended gantry.
Yeah, like a half-height catwalk. Hillary would probably be able to just stroll, but most silhouette ones would be able to only crawl.
So he's gonna pop into the ladder and start climbing up, chatting away with the little droid that he assumes is going to be following him.
Yes.
You see, I'm quite adept at this whole climbing thing. We've done a lot of it on this particular trip, but it's also part of what I do for a living. I am a performer. I perform, usually in small spaces very high up, or in tight places that are spinning. I have been known to go on the Wheel of Death. Yes, the Wheel of Death. Just climbing, talking.
Wiley, the droid, is just... Every time you talk about, like, the Wheel of Death, gives a ooh kind of sound. Very apprehensive of the concept.
Well, I say Wheel of Death, but would you like to know a trade secret, my friend?
Woohoo.
Nobody's actually died. All it is a turntable that we've put on its side, and then we strap ourselves in. And, well, depending on who's available that evening, we either have darts, knives, or sometimes we have broken crockery. That's always that. It's more of a comedy thing. And then my one son, very, very good with a blaster, will do trick shots at the person spinning.
Ooh.
There's been some singed body parts and a couple of nicks here and there, but as a rule, there was the one night that I did take a bit of a broken bowl to the face, but that was all in good fun. Anyway, that's not where I am now. This is where I am now, which is a million miles away from everywhere and under an ocean, and full of my unconscious friends. So let's go see this pump. Yes, this pump. And he, if you're saying that I don't have to do anything special to get out there, he will just stroll, because like you said, this is not unfamiliar territory.
Since Hillary is walking up on the catwalk, crawlway, what have you, I'm thinking shortly before Hillary gets to the pump control, you're going step, 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 and then instead of it being that metal platey sound of being on a catwalk, it's a dirt sound. Like thump, thump, thump. And then you hear a bunch of blaster fire. You can hear like, stormtroopers to the left, get me some cover fire. And as you're getting your attention with it, you can see that it looks to be a firefight around a bunker of some variety. It's at the edge of a city in an industrial area. There's a warehouse that you're next to, and you can see these people. They're all pretty much aliens, except for this one human that seems to be in charge as they're barking orders and trying to get people to do things. Then you hear a, "Manchucho, get me some cover fire!" At that point, you hear very short spoola, then this torrent of fire comes from a doorway, which draws your attention both because just the amount of blaster bolts going is something to be beheld, and also the name Manchucho is mentioned. As you're looking, you can see it is Hillary's son with a properly sized rebellion infantry helmet on, and they're laying down with this light repeating blaster as they're shooting. They're in behind cover. As you're looking around trying to get your bearings, you can see a couple stormtroopers coming up. The hail of blaster bullets actually does down one of the stormtroopers, and there's a couple ragtag people standing next to the warehouse door that is rising up, and you can see the front of a hovered van pretty much nose to door of this warehouse as the door goes up. With all of that coming in, how is Hillary wanting to interact with that?
His first reaction is going to be to go to Manchucho. Shaking a finger, "Why are you with these people?" But as he hears the stormtroopers start closing in, even though they're falling, he turns back and he stands in the middle of this firefight, completely unaware of the fact that it's going on around him. Like, he's not actually able to do anything. Like, it's just like he's walked into a movie scene, I assume. Yeah. And he stands and he puts his arms out like he starfishes to just take up as much space as possible and says, "Don't you touch my son!" And he like waves and jumps and he just yells at them. And when there's no response, he looks at his hands and he looks back over his shoulder at this group he knows inherently is trying to do something for the greater good, even though he thinks they're going about it probably the wrong way. And he shifts his gait so that he is now standing, 1 foot forward, 1 foot back, and he charges at the stormtroopers, hands out, to contact and connect and harm.
As you're doing that, you do hear from behind you, as you're rushing the stormtroopers, "Manchucho, it's time to go. It's now or never." And the blaster fire that is coming past you, going towards the stormtroopers, has dropped by a lot. And you can hear the repulsors of the hover vans start to get going. As for you running in and trying to do harm, I am wanting to get, as seems to be a common theme so far, a discipline check.
I ever take anything in discipline, I did. How hard is it?
This one feels like it should be a hard check. So 3 purple.
2 success, 1 threat.
For the 1 threat, you're taking a straight, as seems to be the common thing. For the 2 success, as you're running forward, it's again the sort of asphalty thump 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 and then clang of the now being on the walkway again. From the corner of your vision, you see smoky tendrils going up into the air, and there before you is the auxiliary pump activation panel, which has a couple buttons on it and a large positional switch. Pretty much a prime, activate, and on-off actual switch.
Hillary will take a moment looking around, looking down at the lightning, looking back at Wiley, and looking down at his hands, and then at the panel. "Okay, little friend, I'm going to need your guidance." And he'll work through the process that needs done with Wiley doing the thing where you kind of hold your hand over stuff and wait for an affirmative or a negative, and kind of get help since he doesn't actually speak binary. So
Wiley, they do have a manipulator. Will point to the different buttons, and like this is going to be pretty close to getting binary directions from. I'm really thinking like turning on the generator in Jurassic Park, where it's just like pulling a lever a few times, punch a few buttons, turn a switch, and you very suddenly hear the very loud, because you're right close to it, siphoning pump start going. You very quickly start seeing a depression in the water where you're pretty sure the water is now being pulled down and vacated from the room. The water level is actually now starting to go down.
Oh, well, that's nice. Anywho, so Hillary is gonna send Wiley back to CMT to have them start getting things going, and he's gonna say, I'm just going to wait here. When the water is gone, I will turn the pump off because we don't want to blow the motor and have all this happen all over again. Okay? Okay.
Hillary's waiting around for pretty close to an hour for this, because once it gets down into the lower area, as was described earlier, there's 2 levels to the generator floor. That there's a working level and a maintenance level where you can get under the generators and that. And it takes a long, long time for that maintenance level to get drained. As the water drains out and the water level lowers, after going up, Wiley then does come back down, and you can see them with what looks to be the repulsor squeegee going along the upper level and just chasing the water into the maintenance level so that the upper level is clear of water. The arcing is still happening, but it's only going across the substation. And around where Hillary is, there's a electric cage.
I'm in a Faraday cage.
Yes, well, it is a Faraday cage. I was just kind of like in The Sorcerer's Apprentice.
Mm-hmm.
With Nicolas Cage.
I love that movie. I was going to say, even as the water is done and Wiley would like motion for the pump to be good to turn off, Hillary will turn it off, but he's just going to sit up on the gantry for a little while. Just kind of be there.
So, Kesh is naturally out. Koba is sedated. Skip is resting, but not actually out.
I'm 1 point away from being strained out, so I kind of...
Mm-hmm.
You're willingly resting, unlike others.
Yeah.
Also, you're part of the club, because now I think that's everyone. I'm not sure about Hillary, but everyone else has been gotten to
strain also can come back quickly. It only takes an hour of rest to recover a point, and at some point you would probably make a cooler discipline check to recover some more. So you need a power nap rather than to be unconscious for 8 hours.
Though being unconscious for 8 hours has other benefits, like resetting the Stimpack threshold.
Yes.
I'm gonna choose to use one of my hit dice to recover some wounds. No, I'm good. Sorry.
Okay, so really what I'm going with is like everyone is pretty mellow at best. At worst, still kind of in a wounded coma situation. What I'm thinking is, so the heroes are now kneeling, however you're wanting to, around in a horseshoe with a stone seat at the center of the horseshoe. There's sitting a full-sized hologram of Ward. You can see the holocron, which has not left Skip's bag in days / months, depending on which way you want to look at it. Mm-hmm. The hologram is sitting on the stone seat. The holocron is in its 4-seat expanded version, with each of the sliding pieces now being held apart by the Force. Hollow Ward is there. It is good to see you, Padawans. I had feared that you had all perished, to be true. I had the feeling that emotions had been running and that the 4 of you had not survived. But now I can feel that things are calmer, though not intentionally, in the case of a few of you. But you're at a place of rest. This is most opportune. Were you able to acquire the other crystal? Or crystals? Be we so lucky?
Is this like a dream, or is this the next day?
This is like a dream.
Okay.
This is a combined vision.
Okay. Cool. Just making sure I'm able to speak if I just decide to.
Alright, so Skip is gonna look back from this. Skip is kind of bleary-eyed and is looking from this large hollow ward down to their bag, and just back, and then back. Wait a minute, you're supposed to be in my bag.
Yes. I am.
I didn't take you out, though.
It seemed such that we needed to discuss things. I can feel the presence of another crystal nearby.
Yes, it's on me. And Cash will rummage through her pockets, her dream pockets, and see if the crystal is there.
Yes, it is.
She'll bring it over towards the holocron then. I think maybe what we see is she releases it on the outside of it, and it gets swept up in sort of the hovering different pieces of the holocron, and maybe slots itself in. That feels appropriate to me.
That absolutely does feel appropriate. Hollowort then lowers his gaze slightly, looking just in front of the four of you. Ponders for a moment and then looks back up. Oh, this is most disturbing. This is definitely learning a lot about what went on Katonomaidia. I do not believe this is very out of the character that I have known for Ward. This is very much not the way that the personality matrix that I have would deal with these interactions. I am...
Yeah, we've heard this story, and seemed to come out of the blue to those that were there as well.
I am not surprised, but we still can learn from this. It does look like the impressions of Ward, it kept on even through his abandonment of Jorah. There's much here that I'm going to have to digest, but along with his changing view of the galaxy, his power was also increasing at the same time. Towards the end, he seemed to be getting very, very paranoid. While getting paranoid, he lost direction for what he is wanting to do. And I'm fearful that if he were to find direction or find the outer galaxy in a place to return to, a place to carve out his own protectorate, he might end up doing that. No, not might. Out of protecting, he would try. Have any of you had contact with the true Ward? I'm fearful that if that is the case...
We know that Ward survived the encounter on Katonomaidia and departed in the fighter. I did, some time ago, well, I guess only about a day ago, I saw someone standing on a world and covered in red light, giant statues all around him, and blue crackling in his eyes. I'm pretty sure the world was Moraban.
Oh. That is a facility that is long lost. To me, at least, it was not something that the Jedi of 20 years ago really knew where, at least. No one below the Council. If the Council even knew. It was a protected archive.
Now, let me ask this. We're feeding you more information, more crystals. How do we know we can trust you? That this new information won't change your personality to that of Ward.
That most certainly is a fear. That is a fear that I have as well, such that my processors and mind is. The information I am learning is something I am learning. It is not something that I am experiencing. It's being put in at a different layer of my personality, at a different layer of my construction. That this is information. It's like I am going on the HoloNet and learning this. It is the actions of someone who is not me. It would be like going on the HoloNet and learning the actions of my twin. There are many basic building blocks of this, but what I am inside is still what I was programmed to initially with the holocron itself, which is Ward at the beginning of his journey with this war, not the corrupted version that we see in this crystal.
I guess that will have to do for the moment. Now, Ben, do we know how to get to Moraban if we were going to check that out?
It isn't something that is on normal star charts on account of our good friend Sheev would have had it redacted, but also it's so out of the way, it's in the middle of nowhere. Unless you're Sith or a Jedi with purpose, there's no reason to know where it is. And there's no reason to record it so that other people don't find it.
Gotcha.
Unless you've got old Jedi records, it's unlikely that you're able to find it.
Well, you seem to be aware of where we are. Might be there's some information we can access here, but there's another problem. We were brought here by some kind of unexplainable event. Kind of lost our ship.
The Force most certainly can work in very bizarre fashions. There are certainly beings who are accessing the Force in ways that are not that of the Jedi, who are beyond what most would consider normal mortals and normal people. They have access to the Force in ways that people can barely conceive. My understanding is you may have come across one of these. I know the Bantu has been out in the Outer Rim, but maybe another like them you've come across. Or, Force help us, the father, son, or daughter has taken an interest in your adventure that can lead to even more deep complications.
I don't know about all that. I think I'm comfortable with the one major power I already know is in my life. Skip, Hillary, you're being quiet.
Hillary shrugs. He's just kind of absorbing. He just looks drawn. Potentially in pastels, maybe charcoal. Now, he looks drawn and kind of... I don't know how to describe it other than emotionally malnourished.
Yeah.
Like that feeling you get when you've basically cried enough to make yourself sick, that's what he looks like.
When we wake up, we need to look for a data bank or something like it on this station. There has to be a reason why she or someone else brought us here. And then we need to find a way off the station. Once we are all fit enough to travel. This is an interesting question. Do any of you know if I'm still alive? Kind of remember lightning and then I'm here.
I really hope so, because I'm really tired.
Skip
Okay.
got you back safe. Skip is Well, last I knew, Skip was snoozing on the bench in the medibay. Everybody's together. We're all alive,
Good.
as far as I know.
And, thank you, Skip.
It's fine.
At that point, I'm figuring the common vision is going to break.
Mm-hmm.
Overnight, where would Hillary have been sleeping?
If it's not too ridiculous and overdramatic, I would have him stay where he was.
Okay, no, that's fair. Well, it'll be a bit on the loud side because the arcing never really stopped. It just stopped going into the water.
Yeah, but I figure it was more an unintentional thing.
Okay.
He stayed there to be there, and then, you know, you don't always have the choice.
Okay, fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
The next morning dawns, and at the very least, Skip and Hillary wake up. Kobo's probably still out of it on account of the droid has pumped him full of sedatives, just to make sure that he's not moving while things heal. It would also allow the droid to work on Kish at such point.
Yeah, so you said that... How much strain do you recover from a night's rest?
Either 8 or all of it, depending on the game master.
I'm usually figuring that's all of it.
I was at
Yeah.
17. I don't know if that's too much.
That's how I normally handle it too. It's like, it's strain, it's okay.
Because it doesn't take much to get huge amounts of strain done.
Skip is going to sort of launch themselves up and look around, run over to Koba, put their hand on Koba's head. Koba's still, breathing. Question mark.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Turn around and look for Kesh. Is Kesh in the same room?
So there's 3 beds. Koba would be on the right bed, Kesh would be on the left bed, and the middle bed is where Hillary had been.
Okay, so run over to Kesh. Put their hand on Kesh's forehead. Still breathing.
Yes.
Wait, where's Hillary? And then, not even thinking about it, just yells out in this room of sleeping injured people, Hillary! Oh. Which I assume maybe wakes up Kesh.
Yeah, Kesh, jerks awake. Bit of a start. What?
Sorry. I can't find Hillary. It's probably fine.
He probably followed my bad idea and went off on his own. Kesh will start very slowly sitting up. You can probably hear a few bones and joints crack.
Mm-hmm.
She does so. Depending on how you want to, if you don't have any particular thoughts, what I imagine happens with her arm is it's a little bit limp at first, and she kind of has to do a little bit of percussive maintenance, is hit it a little bit before it starts to whirl and activate. Okay, we should look for Hillary. Okay, I don't see my staff around.
Well, you know what? Actually, you stay here in case Koba wakes up. Because if Koba wakes up and there's nobody, then they might think they died.
Okay, Koba is an expert investigator. I'm sure Koba could figure out that he didn't die, but...
What?
L2 is currently just scanning Cash.
It is a completely reasonable assumption to make.
But, given I will only slow you down at the moment, not feeling particularly good, going to agree this time.
Alright. And rushes out of the room before Kesh can object.
You calm me if... is my calm... Where's my calm light?
Thank you for listening to this episode of Heroes of the Hydian Way. You can find show updates on Twitter at The Hydian Way, and you can find me, Ben, on Twitter at Deuterium Ice.
You can find me, Christine, on Twitter at 12th Night. That's 12th Night with a K. And you can find our absent companion, Brandon, over at Blue of the Ken.
You can find me over on Twitter at Ren Out of Time.
Ren like the bird.
Ren like the bird. It's clever. I promise. You know it's clever because I had to tell you it's clever.
I'm at Leslie GS.
And we are all at theheidiandway.com, where you can find previous episodes.
You can find more episodes on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Google Podcasts. Plus, you can help us out by rating, reviewing, and subscribing. We're also on Facebook as The Heidian Way. And you can holocom us at heroes@theheidianway.com.
If you like what we do, because it's awesome, and want to support the show, you can find us at patreon.com/theheidianway.
Or you can send the team some love over at ko-fi.com/theheidianway.
Aww.
Or a new com link.
Nah, I'm sure they have those somewhere in this bunker.
Oh, yes. The Jedi comlinks that are actually Gillette razors.
Oh, what if our wardrobe change are just going to be like 200-year-old Jedi robes?
I love it. It's not going to be
like
Jedi
that.
robes. It's going to be just 200-year-old fashion.
Yep.
Because, you had the clothing they came in with as well.
Yeah, can't hear you over the swoop bike.
Yeah.
Lots of
Wait,
traffic
there's
here. I'm
swoops
going
down
through a
here
tunnel.
now.
They're very fancy Minox. A Minox with a cause. Yes, you may disown me. I am perfectly comfortable with this.
The part of Koba, our Doug, shiny expert, something will be played by this saxophone right here.
And it
Nice
is
to
wearing
meet
a hat.
you. Yes, you are a very pleasant saxophone.
Dramatic.
All right.
Look, Koba is just taking a nice nap today.
Koba's currently
We were just something
sedated.
we would all like to do. So, I'm a little envious.
Well, maybe you should lose a foot then.
You know what the best thing is?
I really don't want to.
Is that Brandon doesn't listen to these episodes, so we can say whatever we want.
That's right. Brandon will never know.
This is true.
Except for the part where I know for a fact that if we amuse ourselves enough, we'll have to tell him anyway.
Well, I mean, he's still in the thing, and he's got a wireless headset, so he might still be able to hear us right now.
I mean, there is that too. Anyway. Looking at what it is, it can't be like a alloy or something like that, but what I'm reading makes me think that he can do rock. And this is pretty much just random bending.
Yeah, I mean, it does say that I can, locate water, so there's some aspect of...
There's
I can
also
manipulate.
power can affect firm terrain such as packed earth, stone, or ice is one of the controls, so it's heavily suggesting.
Yeah, okay. Who would have thought that, haunted, Jedi place would just turn into Skip's terrible, no good, very bad day.
Is this a point where I raise my hand? Because I'm figuring Cash would have taken up the third bear. Or the third bear? The third bed.
It's okay.
Okay, that's an impressive autocorrect.
I don't think I've ever typed that word. I don't know where it's getting it.
For context,
Sure.
autocorrect
to
assumed
Guillermo.
Hillary was
That's what I got for
Guillermo.
typing it on my phone so that I didn't make keyboard noise.
Yeah, fair. It was a speeder truck in the vision. Dagnabbit. It's a van.
That's clearly a van.
Like from the 70s level van.
It
I'm
looks
so
honestly
disappointed.
like, 70s, 80s camper van.
Yeah.
With
If you
machine
just take the
gun.
blaster off the top, it's
Yeah.
it's a Star Wars RV.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm
I mean,
adding
that's
this to
honestly-
that new character idea. Like speed movies. What else was it?
I'm going to be honest, that's kind of how I pictured our tour bus with
That's
I mean, yeah,
Scoobs and
it pretty
Shagger.
much is.
I like that
there was a Legion thing out. I knew it had to be.
I like that it's still vaguely Dustbuster shaped.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
With that little grate at the front.
It depends. Have I recovered any wounds during sleep?
Oh, gosh. Well, I don't know if the robot was tending to you.
I know it's normally about you heal a wound in about a day, because I'm a Trandoshan, I've recovered 2, actually.
Yeah. So I think, I would figure that you would have recovered 2.
Okay.
And Kobo would have recovered 1.
Which puts me at only 16 wounds. Yeah, because something tells me with all the struggle you had getting Cash out of there, anything that wasn't, clipped to her is gone, and probably some of the smaller electronics on her.
I mean, there's just a trail of your stuff and my stuff because I threw stuff out of my bag.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're just trashing this place. It's fine.
Yeah. Well, we're a mess right now. I don't know if you realize that.
Oh yeah, no, we're a mess.